Good evening. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals, IGP Bangladesh. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals, IGP Bangladesh. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable knowledge seekers, today I am your host for the evening. My name is Jannatul Naima. I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. IGP is a non-profit organization. It is social and ISO certified international training institute. In 3 years, we already served 3 million knowledge seekers from 100 countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 250 professions and 4,500 organizations. Institute of Global Professionals IGP and ISO 9001 2015 and 10002 2018 is the training facility for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global labor market by providing professional qualifications. The Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institute that provides social work globally, recognized and reputable. We serve students and community resources providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate proficient generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners to respective campus locations and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institute for all over the world. Our vision is an education isn't a business product, it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, awards, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we also trying to serve more than 100 premium services for free like create own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and world knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game website, free courses, converted sets, and many, many more. We help to empower youth to learn to meet their expectations and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education to their abilities and personalities. To ensure excellent and in-depth instruction, we arrange with qualified trainers, speakers, and instructors. We extend free services to more than 3 million knowledge seekers in the last 3 years. We have affiliation with universities and organizations in 70 different countries. Virtual more signings with many colleges and organizations have been accomplished. We are working to create legendary generation of future scholars and citizens who will be accountable. We are constantly prepared to assist all knowledge seekers with valuable service. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professionals. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the need of today's generation and will serve them good research. and practiced method. We must have a genuine concern for learners we represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective, best quality services and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skills level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention in the comment box. Your support is very valuable to us. Thank you. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1181 webinars successfully. Wow, moving to the next, with your continuous support, we already completed 1181 webinars successfully. At present, we are going to start our 1182 program, which name is The Digital Divide. And our today's speaker is Ma'am Jonna Carla C. Bain. She is from Philippines. Before I hand over the stage to ma'am, want to share a very little about our speaker. She is director office of international affairs, faculty member, masters of arts in psychology, graduate school, faculty member, department of psychology, college of social science and development, and University of Philippines. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with her presentation.
So, good evening from the Philippines. I hope you are all well. And I also hope that the information that I'm going to share with you would be very helpful, especially for the educators all over the world, because this had been experienced by people, especially when we had the pandemic. It had been challenging, and of course, the slowly going back to the new normal of what we have. So, let me share my screen for presentation of the digital divide. Particularly, this talks about the digital divide and at the same time other issues that is being covered with our environment which is pertaining to education. So I do hope this would enlighten individuals. So here's the presentation about the digital divide. Particularly, I'll be focusing on the first level digital divide. Once again, I am Dr. Joanna Carla Cipian from the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, the Director of the Office of International Affairs, and at the same time, faculty member for the graduate school and undergraduate programs of the Department of Psychology. So here, the first level digital divide as experienced by teachers and the students. What are we going to talk about for this evening? First, the definition of digital divide, the levels of digital divide, the examples of it, the effects of technology in education, implications of digital divide, and bridging the gap. And later on, after I give the talk, of course, there will be sessions for some questions that we could accommodate. And also, I'll be promoting something which I'll be needing your support. So let's begin. First is what is digital divide? As you could see in the illustration, there is a gap in between these two yellow illustrations that would be representing roads. And it looks like a cliff. It also has a person trying to cross something to reach on the other side. So let's take a look at this video. So, as you could see in the video, it talks about a lot for the digital divide, which we are going to tackle one by one. As you could see here, the digital divide refers to the difference in access to technology between nations, regions, and based on demographic factors such as income, race, age. If you're going to notice, some people keep complaining that they can't connect in the internet. They have a slow internet connection. That's why they could not access files, they could not open or download files, they could not even turn on their videos whenever there are meetings. They could not listen and hear well because the sound is cracking or the sound is breaking. And that's because of the difference in the access to technology. Others could have a very good bandwidth. Others could have a very stable internet connectivity. While some places, particularly those remote areas, could have really no access to the internet. Or if they would be using their data, it could not be as good, or there is a limited connectivity. So, in the education sector, this presents the following: inequalities in physical access to technology. It could be the gadget that they are using, imbalances in resources and skills needed to effectively participate as a digital citizen as well. For the levels of digital divide, in which we're going to focus on the first one, let's take a look at this. The first level would include school infrastructure. That infrastructure would include your hardware, your software, the internet access, as well as the support for technology. For the hardware, it pertains to the physical, tangible material which are being used for the conduct of teaching with regards to the internet or technology. Like, for example, the desktop, the laptop that you are using, or the tablets, the cell phones, or any other devices that you connect on with the internet. The next level is the classroom. This would include the use of technology by the teachers as well as the students. So it is also important that we do not just have these gadgets, but the knowledge of the people trying to use these instruments or this equipment is very essential. Because even though there is a computer, if people are not familiar in using it, then it will be useless. Even if there is internet connectivity, even if there is a material that people could use, if they do not have the knowledge, if they do not possess this knowledge, then that's meaningless. How could they access it? And the third level, which pertains to the individual student, it's the feeling of empowerment whenever they have this first level, such as the hardware, they have the knowledge, and they could independently use it for their studies or for the educators. How could they present their lessons in a more effective way, in a more attractive way at the same time that would greatly engage the students? So first, for the example, is the infrastructure. As mentioned earlier, it refers to the basic physical and organizational structure and facilities needed for the operation of the society or enterprise. You could see in the illustration here, one side doesn't have color. It's totally blonde. And you could see here, there are a few connections and the person looks sad. On the other side, you could see it's very colorful. And this colors also represents different connections. These connections allow linkage and collaboration with people all over the globe. And that's one significance of it. If you have a good access with the internet connectivity, particularly during this digital age, it would be easier to connect and have this cooperation with people, even though you do not physically see them, like what we're doing right now. Many professionals connect with the Institute of Global Professionals, and we are able to share knowledge, thoughts, and perspectives, as well as the latest trends of what's going on through connectivity. We don't physically each other, we don't know each other, but with the use of this technology, we are able to keep in touch. And that's the importance of it. And during the pandemic, when everything went online, we still are able to deliver our lessons to our students with the use of it. So, here in the Philippines, one of the constraint, some figures are written in Tagalog, but I will be explaining them to you one by one. Here in the news coming from a local channel, the GMA News, there is a slow internet connection and that becomes a problem. And it has been complained by the teachers and the students, particularly during the first day of classes. And of course, here there are some ways on how they try to manage it. And at the same time, of course, the Mbps internet speed is also one consideration. Later on, I will be showing you some instances here in the Philippines which were actually experienced by the people because of this. Next would be the devices. What kind of gadget are you using? Does it have high specifications or is it just enough for using MS Word like internet and the Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, or whatsoever? What about the higher applications or higher software that would be using a greater number of storage area, right? The devices would pertain access to computing devices such as the computers, the networking gear, as well as the mobile phones. Because some of the students, although they do not have laptops, they try to make use of their mobile phones or their smartphones so they could still connect and attend to their classes using this. And then the education. Access to computing devices, of course, would include access to computers in the school, as you could see in the classroom or at home, as well as the effective use of technology and teaching of basic technology to students. This what I've been mentioning earlier. Students need to be taught with this. What if during the time that they are at home, they do not have their teachers with them? The teachers are just virtually. But what if the guardian or the parents of the students who are at home are not knowledgeable about how are they going to make use of these computers with internet connectivity? Who's going to teach the kids? And that could be a hindrance also for learning. Like for example, a kid needs to log in, but because of his or her young age, the kid still needs to be instructed about what to do. But the parents or some of the guardians that's home do not know how to connect to the internet or do not know how to log into meetings, do not know how to log into Zoom. They really do not have knowledge about that. Then who's going to educate the kids? Right? For some of the teachers, at first, when they'll be using the online platforms, they were a bit nervous. Even with me before, at the start of the pandemic, of course, I was nervous if I share screen. Would I be successful in sharing my presentation to the students? Would I be able to share the sound? Will they hear me? Will they be able to listen to the instructions that I'll be giving them? Or will they understand the lessons? Will I be able to efficiently deliver it? Of course, at first, there is nervousness, but it's very important that we keep ourselves abreast with the use of these things, not only the Zoom. We have Google Meet, we have this StreamYard, and many other platforms which are used in educating and at the same time connecting with people. And this is very essential because if there is a hindrance of this, then learning would be hindered at the same time and it will be having a gap as the transfer of the knowledge that the students and the educators must connect with. So, another example is the defensive computing. This would include the knowledge of computer practices and information security. So, as we all know, there are also issues with security. like information of your privacy. And at the same time, your computers could have virus when you click on sites you're not familiar with. Of course, you have to be also knowledgeable about this and you have to be careful so that your computer would be free of those unnecessary things like virus or hacks and information that could be gathered, particularly your private information. So, next, we have here proper management of devices, upgrading software and hardware. Of course, it's very essential also that aside from the computer that you have, the hardware and the software, there should also be an upgrading of it. There are some of the applications which would need to be upgraded, which needs to be installed, and which would be requiring higher memory. What if your gadget could not hold such kind of a memory? Should that particular thing will wear off if the application or the software that you are downloading is having a high memory and your gadget could not hold such kind of thing, then that's a problem. And that would be another challenge for this digital divide. There could be a hindrance again because you won't be able to access the site if your gadget or your equipment could not hold that particular software. Information security, as you could see here in online learning, a student participates in an online learning class, and the Data Privacy Council education sector issues set of guidelines on how to implement an online learning with respect to the data privacy rights of the students and the teachers alike. Of course, we do not just simply share our information, particularly our personal information, because that could be an issue of security. Many scammers are right now circulating all over the internet world, and a lot of information coming from you could be taken. And when they are taken, of course, it could be linked to your bank accounts. It could also be linked to your other important stuff, which would be having such kind of things. And then here we include the cost. Try to compare the gadget that these kids are having. Okay? On this side, you could see a very old gadget, and these are being utilized by the students. And if you're going to consider this, the students on this side or the kids on this side are not in their houses. We have known internet cafe where we could rent. Of course, there are limitations and you need to pay for it as well. And the specifications of the gadget here could not be very good. It's just enough for basic applications or software, but in addition to that, it could not be very good, right? On the other hand, take a look at the kids on this side. They have high end gadgets, probably. And they are at the comfort of their homes. They even have these wireless headphones that really help them in having the lessons received very well. And the space is also conducive. So try to compare these things. What if the kids only have access to this kind? You could even think that the internet connectivity here is not very good. Then that could be another issue again. What if you can't afford to buy these gadgets that are having high specifications and simply because remember we have mentioned about the socioeconomic status of one person that is accommodated with cost because not everybody belong to a well-off family, not everybody belong to a high status family in the socioeconomic class, right? So that will also be an issue in the digital divide. Blocking. There are some areas where internet services are blocked by telecom companies or government censors. And as you could see, there are some countries who could not access even Facebook, even Google. And if there is a ban on that, then that could be an issue. Because what if the teachers would be sharing a link to the students which they could access from the sites that have been mentioned. And when your country do not have access to that particular site, then how are you going to see the contents of these sites, right? And we all know right now that we keep on sharing links to people, we keep on sharing things via the internet. We just share what is the URL of this, what is the website of this, and when is that accessible to you, and you share it to other people, and the person would say, I do not have access to it, I could not open it. Then how are you going to share the information? Then that would limit again the transfer of the knowledge, right? Especially if you have no control about it because it's totally banned by the government. So, effects of technology in education. Let's move on in this. Transformation is one of its effects because of the new technology breakthroughs. Imagine, in the earlier times, people got have use with the use of paper, pen, and their books. That's it. But right now, it's not enough that you make use of your paper, your pen, and your books because this time you have to know how to make use of the technology. You have to make use of a computer. Even when you apply for jobs, it's not enough that you have the skills for the necessary things that you have to carry out, but those skills should also be accompanied with the use of computer, right? And you have to be knowledgeable about making presentations, using PowerPoint, Canva, and many other platforms. What else? You have to make use of other meeting conferences, which I have mentioned earlier. And this could also have affected the way things are presented and taught to the students. If you could see, before, when you need to talk to somebody, you need to be physically present. You have to talk face to face, or a phone call would do. But right now, you have to be knowledgeable in using emails. Even other institutions use WhatsApp, Viber, Signal, any other social media platform. And at the same time, you have to be familiar with the use of online teleconferencing because that's one way of meeting people, right? Even if you have different time zones, you just adjust with the time zones, share a link, and you could meet. You could have instant connection as well. And today, it has become a vital ingredient to learning at all educational levels. You can't just say, I don't want to study on how to make use of this computer when you are an educator. You can't simply do that. You have to adjust to the trends which are going on right now. Of course, you have to make yourself adept about the knowledge that you are having right now, and you do not limit yourself with what is in the old school. Although it's been very useful, but of course you have to upgrade and develop the skills that you know. So, what are the implications of digital divide? As you could see here, a hindrance to the development of the underdeveloped areas. So, if you do not have access to these things, then it's a hindrance for the development. Because right now, we do not just take a look of what's going on in our country. We tend to also compare and see the developments taking place in other countries so that we could be at par with them. That's why we are into internationalization or globalization. I know everybody is familiar that with different institutions, there is an international relations office into which it tries to links and connect and collaborate with institutions abroad so that they could have a better exchange of knowledge. Before, you have to physically visit, and that is costly, but this time, apart from physically visiting different institutions, you could also meet online, and that could save time and effort as well because you could see, you could implement a lot of things, and you could help people know a lot of trends by sharing what you can, even if it's online. And as a result, the student from different backgrounds, geographies, and communities may lose their chance to develop innovative solutions. And as we all know, with the use of the internet, you could see a lot of learnings, a lot of healthy tips, a lot of new knowledge, because whenever we browse, we just type what we need and then we click, and a lot of options could be seen. And if you do not have access to that, how are you going to widen your perspective if you do not know about it? Other people, when you show them computer, they could be afraid, how would I use this? How should I turn it on? How should I make it work? And when people do not know about that, then how would they be competitive when we talk about improvements or even a global perspective? People should have a background or knowledge on that as well. So, this is what happened here in the Philippines. Teacher climbs mountain and swims across a river just to deliver learning modules to the students, because during the pandemic, to reach the places wherein there is no internet access, modules were developed. And here's an example of a module. The teacher tries his best to cross this body of water so that he could reach the place where he could deliver these instructional materials to the students. And look how noble it is. It could even cost his life. Okay? Another, students resort to staying at a makeshift tree house for a stable internet connection. Take a look. The child tries to climb and have to stay on a higher place so that the internet connectivity will be better. Okay? What if it's raining, right? You could see that the space is not very well enclosed, the space is not very strong. What if there's a harsh weather? And what if this place is far from the house of the child? Then it could be another hindrance too, right? What if it's too windy and the child could not hear the voice of the teacher or the sound which is being played? Then that would be another limit. And then here, teachers and parents brace for double workload and unfamiliar tools. Teachers carry modules and try to reach, going to other places, bringing all the materials they have with them so that they could be teaching the students. Okay? And here, to secure an internet connection on the first day of class, several teachers in one of the cities here had to climb onto the roofs of their school as the country transitions to blended learning amid the COVID 19 pandemic. So that's one way to secure the connectivity. They are in the roofs of their schools. So, how do we bridge the gap? Of course, we have to fill in the space in between this. There will be a positive impact on countries and the people. And at the same time, students will be able to create a significant difference in a community by learning new ways to tackle the issues. And importantly, working together to achieve a common goal and thinking creatively to develop solutions to problems. We could see here that the role of the government would be very vital, as they will be the one who should be supportive enough to the undertakings of the education sector. And since they are in the authority to do so, then they could make every people work. Of course, it needs cooperation from people. People empowerment, improvement of the digital capacities all over the world as well. So, in bridging the gap, we could discover ways to expand information infrastructure, reduce the cost of service for internet, provide cost effective and affordable solutions, promote digital literacy via campaigns or incentives, and collaborate with successful entities and robust networking. Also offer wireless access in study halls and library for the entire day. Here are some possible ways that we could do in order to bridge the gap. So here in the Philippines, the Department of Information and Communications Technology tried to enhance the internet connectivity in the Philippines and they deploy broadband capacities across the nation, especially in areas that are remote, inaccessible, and considered unprofitable by the private sector. And with this, the government will have access to cheaper and more reliable internet services that will reduce government spending on internet subscription. Another thing, of course, private institutions could be very generous at the same time. Like here, before, McDonald's offer free distance learning classrooms and they welcome the teachers. They converted parts or portions of the shops into a classroom where teachers could access, and they also uh, provide for Wi-Fi connections that the teachers could use while they are delivering their classes or their lessons online. And then one of the telecom companies here in the Philippines, the Globe secures over 700 permits to build cell sites. And this is done in order to boost the internet connection so that more people could access and there will be less traffic for internet connectivity. And then one of the provinces launches free Wi-Fi hotspot for public school students. And also, a backup postpaid internet plan in the Philippines was carried out. And then universities partner with Globe or a telecompany for efficient delivery of its blended learning platform for the school year. At the same time, local government units give out tablets to kinder grade 1 students and even laptops to teachers. As you could see, it's a collaborative effort between private and public institutions, between the government and private institutions, because it would be reaching a lot of people and it would be very helpful for everybody. Even Desktop Donation enables online learning. And in one of the cities here, there had been self-learning modules and bags. They call it Mandunyong Kids for the first quarter. And then tablets and laptops were distributed for certain grade levels and for teachers. Even laptops for principals, supervisors, and other personnels. They also provided uniform, shoes, and socks for the students and Kuiper online and offline class for the senior high school. So also, there had been mobile e-learning laboratories wherein buses would be equipped with computers and internet connections and are rotated in different municipalities where there are students without gadgets and internet connections due to financial limitations. And the Department of Education partnered with TV channels so that they could air the lessons for the different grade levels. So this could be useful for the students who do not have internet connectivity. Instead, they will be using the local TV channels to access their lessons as well. And here, a motorbike with sidecar, could see, carries a TV and other learning materials for IT students in Pampanga. And these are part of some of the indigenous groups here in the Philippines. And these are some of the tools that could be helpful for these people. And so, with that, I would like to give this challenge to you. We must also promote global access to the internet, and we need to bridge the digital divide not just within our country, but among countries. And only by giving people around the world access to this technology, they tap into the potential of the information age. And with this trending technology and growing internet as well as technology age, it is very essential that people help each other. And as we anchor it in the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals, particularly the SDG 4, which is the quality education, with whatever thing that we can, we must be an agent in promoting a quality education to people across the globe. Because when people are educated, they are empowered. And whenever they are empowered, good things come up with them. And so, let us all do our best in trying to bridge the gap and addressing this digital divide. So, thank you very much, and I do hope what I have shared had been helpful and very informational to everybody. So, thank you very much. If there are questions or if there are some clarifications, we'll be glad to do so. Back to our host.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our knowledge seekers surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, ma'am, for your presentation. Now, ma'am, it's time for our question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable ma'am, please stay with us after a short video. We will be back in our session part 2, which is our question answer part. Okay, ma'am?
Okay. Uh, by the way, before we have the video, I would just like to share this with you too. Yeah, here. Like what I have mentioned earlier, I will also be seeking for your support because I joined an international leadership sustainability training and it was provided by United People Global. And I am fortunate enough, I would be proud to say that I have reached the final stage of it, wherein the leaders who are going to be selected from different regions. I'm representing the Asia Pacific region, will have a chance to be trained to the Hurricane Island Center for Science and Leadership located in the United States. So I'm an advocate of SDG 3, the good health and well-being, and SDG 4, the quality education. And I would be seeking your support. I'm representing the Philippines in the Asia Pacific region. I'll be typing in our comment section how are you going to do it. So I do hope that you could help me in achieving this endeavor. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have the webinar certification and online quiz competition. Thank you so much, dear participants. Welcome, ma'am. Dear participants, please ask question in the comment box. Our first question from Ishaya, ma'am Jana Karla. What is MEDCS and LEDCS?
Okay, so for that question, MEDCs and LEDCs would pertain to first the MEDCs, these are the more economically developed countries, meaning they have a higher index of human development index score. Countries like Germany, countries like Canada, New Zealand, Norway, and United States would be belong in these countries. And as you could see, these countries also are having higher advanced technology, and they also offer a lot of scholarship programs for people across the globe. While for the LEDCs, this pertains to the less economically developed countries. So a lot coming from parts of Asia, like even Philippines could be part of this, and many other regions as well. We just have to classify those and the Human Development Index classification. So that's what it meant by MEDCs and LEDCs.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dear participant, please ask your question in the comment box. We are waiting for your question. I think, ma'am, we are covered with all question. Thank you so much once again, Honorable Ma'am, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity, along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Ma'am, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you. Take care, ma'am.
Thank you very much. I do hope this session was very informative and had reached a lot of people. Thank you very much and see you again next time.
Thank you. Welcome, ma'am. IGP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for our webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. Today's program name is The Digital Divide and the code is IGP 9003 and the code is IGP 9003. Without code, no one is eligible for certificates. With code, you can claim your certificates anytime. Without code, no one is eligible for certificates. With code, you can claim your certificates anytime. Hello? Dear participants, how to claim any certificate, you have to go www.eduigp.com, then click sign in, then log in if you already have an account, or create a new account if you are new. Once logged in, free webinars. Select the webinar title and click continue course. Get enrolled if you haven't enrolled yet. Type the code in your certificate code box. Click get your certificate. It is auto downloadable in PDF file. Already, just check it in your file manager or download folder. Don't forget to leave a review in our Facebook page, website, and Google. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for our most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. After a short video, we will start our online quiz competition. Dear participants, please join our online quiz competition. You have to go www.slido.com and the code is event. Dear participants, after 3 minutes, we will start our online quiz competition. So please join, hurry up, and get started with quiz competition. For online quiz competition, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is even, EVEN, even. Dear participants, let's start. Our first question is digital divide is equality between groups to access information and communication technology. Option 2, inequality between groups to use information and communication technology. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is option 2, inequality between groups to use information and communication technology. 41% people are correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Daryl Imperial, second Jordan, third Joel. Moving to the second question, effects of the digital divide is informed or less inspired and less responsible. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is less inspired and less responsibility, 4% people are correct. In the leaderboard, you can see Jordan is holding first position, second Daryl, third Joel. Moving to the third question, what contributes to the digital divide? Which one is correct? Race and income, or second option, male? Give your correct answer quickly for holding the first position. And the correct answer is race and income. 100% people are correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Jordan, second Daryl, third Joel. Moving to the fourth question, what are the effects of the digital divide? Option 1, people exclude from the labor market. Or option 2, people would not be able to make physical activity. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is option 1, people excluded from the labor market. 72% people are correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Daryl, second Joel, third Ricky. Moving to the fifth question, is the digital divide is real? Real, option 1 true, option 2 false. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is true, 97% people are correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Daryl. Moving to the sixth question, a digital divide only affects economic. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer, true or false. And the correct answer is false. 97% people are correct. Moving to the in the leaderboard, first position is Daryl. Moving to the seventh question, on the upper side of the digital divide are to those who rich people or have the necessary skill and knowledge and economic ability. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is have the necessary skill and knowledge and economic ability. 76% people are correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Daryl. Moving to the eighth question, what helps to narrow the digital divide? Option 1, money. Option 2, education. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is education. 68% people are correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Daryl. Moving to the ninth question, the digital divide is the gap between those without digital influence. Option 2, those without access to the internet. Which one is correct? Give your correct answer. And the correct answer is those without access to the internet. 59% people correct. In the leaderboard, first position is Hannah, second Joel, third Ricky. Moving to the 10th question, what are the three parts of the digital divide? Option 1, sleep, eat, and repeat. Or option 2, economic divide, the usability divide, and the empowerment divide. And the correct answer is economic divide, the usability divide, and the empowerment divide. 97% people are correct. Congratulations, Hannah, for winner in the Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. Slide will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificates on our official Facebook page and group. And the name is Institute of Global Professionals. At the end moment of our session, we can say properly feed your skills. Never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit the end live button, again thanks to all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.